I'm Ann LeClaire, and we're here exploring some of the freshest local products in San Mateo County. Today we're with Dee Harley at Harley Farms. And Dee, thank you so much for hosting us today. We see your family of goats all around us. Tell us a little bit about how you started Harley Farms.
Well, it was a little bit by default, really, Anne. I started with only 6 goats, and we lived in this, well, what was a derelict cow dairy farm, which was originally built in 1910. But as the farm started closing in the late 40s along the coast, you know, because the dairy industry was huge along the coast, this farm closed as well. So it remained closed for about 50 years, and then I've got these 6 goats and started to bring it back to life again.
With 6?
With 6. So the 6 became 10, 10 became 15, and so on and so on. And now we have just under 200 goats, and they're all related to the original 6 of 21 years ago now.
Now, did you have a background in dairy farming of any kind, or how did this all evolve?
No, I didn't. I didn't know anything about them, but when I look back at it, I really learned how to look after the goats very deeply because I just had the 6. So I just grew with the herd and learned as I went through the years with them, and it's just, the management has just stayed the same.
And how many goats do you have now?
We have just under 200.
Wow.
All of these goats have recently had their babies. It's kidding season on the farm, it's spring. And we've had just over 210 babies so far.
Oh my gosh.
And we have maybe another 40, 45 to go.
Wow. And then what happens with those when they're born? Are they immediately put out to pasture with the parents, or?
No, we take the babies away immediately, and we milk the mothers and feed the milk back to the babies. A lot of the goats have multiple births, so we want to make sure that they've had enough to eat. A lot this year had triplets, and we had 3 sets of quads, which is very unusual, very unusual, all extremely healthy, and the weather has been on our side this year. It's been so beautiful. So the goats have been able to come out on the grass, and we've been able to have a lot of space for the babies to grow up.
So are you pretty much up all night in March and April? Is that your
Yeah,
delivering?
the first ones, yes. We've had a lot of late nights and long days right now because we're feeding so many babies. So we get extra help from the high school. People come and help feed the babies at night, which is it's incredible and such a time saver.
Now you do all this obviously to make your incredible cheese, but how many gallons of milk would a goat produce in a year's time?
Well, we milk them twice a day or every 12 hours, and each goat produces about a gallon of milk.
Wow.
Per day, so half in the morning, half at night, and that produces around a pound of cheese.
Wow.
So we can make upwards of 200 pounds of cheese a day.
200 pounds
yes,
of cheese
once they're all milking, yes, yeah.
And is that in one shift? Okay, let go of the buckle.
I'm good.
Is that in one shift, or is that, I mean, do you?
Well, we make cheese every day, so the evening milk joins the morning milk, and we make cheese that day, and sometimes we make it twice a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
So tell us about the types of cheese that you produce. I know you have multiple.
We do.
At this point.
We make 4 styles: feta, full milk ricotta, chèvre, and fromage blanc. All are made in traditional methods. And then we add flavors to those. We might add dried apricots or cranberries, dried tomatoes, herbs, chives, dill, things like that. So we have maybe 30 or 32 different flavors together with the 4 styles. And we've just started making an aged cheese. Oh, so nice. That's going to be our new product coming into this year.
And how long does that get aged before it's?
At least 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Yeah, oh, so good. The nuances of the milk and the integrity of the milk really come through on the flavor. Yeah, we're really excited about it.
Now you decorate the cheeses in interesting ways, right?
Yeah.
You grow your own flowers, I know, over there. And
we
how
do.
does that work?
We use a lot of edible flowers on the cheese, and we also use herbs as well. So we grow whatever we can, we tend to grow here on the farm because it complements everything of what we're doing. We're a farmstead dairy, so it means we only make cheese from the milk we produce from our own animals. We don't get outside milk coming here. So we're in control of everything, the flavor of the food that they eat, the grasses that they eat, and so it's a very consistent, mild flavor. That comes through on the milk, so therefore the cheese is then very mild. So anything that we grow in the environment that they're living in complements that flavor. It's very subtle, but nevertheless there.
Now, if you're having over 200 babies every year and you already have a herd of over 200 goats, how do you thin it out? You obviously you don't have room for 400 or 600 goats.
No, we'd have thousands by now, I think. Well, we sell all the males. We don't keep any of the male kids, so they get sold. And then we only keep the females from the better milkers. And every couple of years, we'll cull out some of the older goats. We have a retirement home at our next door neighbor's Patty's. She's got, I think, 16 goats over there, and every year she gets 2 or 3 Harley. And
the old goats, so to
the
speak,
old
right?
goats, yeah, and she loves looking after them. So she has a lot of pasture, so they get to eat that. And I do find homes for most of the milkers that we retire from the farm, and then they just get replaced by the babies that are born that year.
Now, it seems to me, is one of your cheeses seasonal? Is there one that you sell that's more seasonal than the others? Most are available year-round, right?
Yep, most are available all year. The ricotta, though, we can't make from early November through when the first babies are born. The makeup of the milk gets really, really fatty, and it's very difficult to coagulate in going into the late fall and early winter. And then, of course, as the babies are born and milk is flowing again, then we make ricotta again. It's the best of the year. It's so good.
So for people who want to come out and enjoy all this, experience it firsthand, what about tours? What do you have?
Well, it's so popular right now because of the babies. I mean, everybody loves a baby goat. Although, I don't know. There's so many of them right now. I don't know.
But everyone else
yeah, it's a fantastic destination for anybody right now. They can drive down or up the coast and come and visit us. They can sign up for an organised farm tour, which is an hour and a half to 2 hours long, where you really kind of get behind the scenes of the way we run our farm and meet the goats and see where they're milked in the cheese making room, and of course see all the baby goats, which is, you know, the draw, of course.
And are the tours on particular days, Dee?
Yeah, they're on Friday, Saturday and Sunday. You can sign up online very easily, and they go through the first week of December.
And then on the tour, what happens? Other than looking at the goats, what do they see? What do people see?
Well, they go into the milking parlour, so we explain about how we milk and basically look at the day in the life of a goat that lives on our farm and why the milk is so good and why we have to treat the animals so in a certain way, the types of animals, the interesting facts about the goats, and then of course end up in the cheese making, where cheese is always being made, so people are very intrigued in that space, just because it makes sense when they've come out, met the animals, seen the babies, understand the flow of the milk. It kind of puts the pieces together. People are very appreciative actually of the opportunity to be able to see something that's working all the time, and meet some of the people that work on the farm, who are just as important as the animals that live here too.
So what about buying the cheese? If someone isn't, I mean, do you have a tasting room, right? And when is that open?
Yeah, we are open 7 days a week, because of course we're here making cheese 7 days a week, so we might as well be. And we have the old horse corrals, actually, we've turned into a cheese shop. So all of our cheeses are available for tasting. We're open 10 to 5 every day.
10 to 5, great.
And we tend to get quite busy on the weekends. And we also offer farm dinners, which are held once a month in the hayloft above the dairy. And people again can sign up online and find out any information they want to about the farm online.
Well, Dee, thank you so much for hosting us
today.
You're
so
we know
welcome.
How busy you are during the birthing season, but it's an amazing spot.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you coming. Thanks.